Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Small Beginnings with Sarah. Y'all, sometimes I feel like I'm just beginning. So many small beginnings. I'm here in Wimberley at Selah's Retreat at my Airbnb, spending the day here working on my art studio to get it organized and cleaned up because just in 2 weeks I'm going to have a intimate retreat, a Selah's retreat, a time of quiet interlude. So excited about that. Only just a few of us will be gathering. There is room for a few more of you if you decide you want to do it. But we'll just be hanging out with God and painting and experiencing, some healing and what He has for us, but also through creativity. Today, y'all, I wanted to title my podcast The Holy Parenthesis with God. I just 2 nights ago flew back into Austin after being in Colorado for the weekend. Spent 5 days there. It was absolutely wonderful. Went to the mountains, went to the Red Rocks area, and then went south down to Colorado Springs and near Pikes Peak into the forest and mountains. And I really feel like this time with God was really holy. And since I'm here at the Wimberley House at Selah's Retreat today, recording this podcast to be released on May 1st, a new month, 4 months of 2025 have already passed, y'all, at midnight tonight. And when you hear this, it'll probably already be May, and it's pretty amazing that God has already done so much for us during these first 4 months of 2025. And I don't know if you're wanting to start something new, your own small beginnings. But I think my message today is be sure that we're stopping and experiencing the holy parentheses that God has put in front of us and opportunities that He has. And I had to remind myself this morning of Philippians 4:6 from the read from the English Standard Version. It says, "Do not be anxious for anything, Sarah, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be known to God." Y'all, since I came home, actually for the last week and a half, I've had a really big flare up of my dermatitis, like a skin irritation, and it started probably actually 11 years ago when I first noticed it. It was after my mother died, and my skin just became ultra sensitive. And so, this our skin is our biggest organ. And so I noticed, like, why am I itching so much? Why do I have like, lots of little bumps where I'm just itching, itching, itching on my hands? And this morning when I woke up, it started on my face, and that it's been 6 years since I've had it on my face. And so I do have a medical appointment later today to go see what I can do. I know I changed soap a few weeks ago for the laundry at my house, and I'm changing back. um, but all of our nerves, how everything works. And I thought, man, God, this is really appropriate that I would be suffering today, really, with extreme itching, hard to concentrate, even hard to prepare this podcast. I prepared it, and then my notes. I clicked on something and all my notes went away and I had to rewrite. And I don't really have a lot of time. And I'm like, okay, God, Philippians 4:6, you tell us do not be anxious about anything. So am I extra anxious? And I'll have to say, yes, I am. I'm also recording my digital course on gardening, which I need to record here at this house because I made a special garden 5 years ago in an area of this yard after Wayman died, and called it my meditative garden, my prayer garden for him, And so I want to show that and need to record that video today since I'm here. And we have had guests actually 2/3 of the time for this month. And today it's open. More guests are coming tomorrow. So it's like, oh, there's a window. I better do it. And so am I anxious? Yes, I am. But God says, do not be anxious about anything, Sarah, but in everything by prayer and supplication. Supplication means to ask Him with thanksgiving. Let your requests be known to God. And so today I'm taking a breath and I'm like, okay, my podcast is on this. It is on finding the Holy Parenthesis. And I wanted to give you some examples from this past week and my learnings from this past week of how God has helped me. But today I'm needing to press into that, even still, y'all. That I don't need to be anxious about anything, but I need to be thankful for what God has given me. And I know that I'm making my request known to Him. I want this skin rash to go away and to stop itching and not to start moving onto my face. And, it's like I get all, I guess, circling around with anxiousness. And then tomorrow night, I have an event to go to, a fundraiser for the pregnancy center in Austin. I've donated a painting and I want to go to that, but I don't want to go with this big rash on my face, So I'm like, oh, you know, we can circle into anxiousness, right? And it's not really the place we need to be. So I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to breathe God in and I'm going to say, God, thank you. Would you please share with me as I hear you, as I share with my audience, the truth of who you are and what you have waiting for us, God. Thank you. So my center verse after Philippians 4:6, y'all, is Isaiah 31. Isaiah 40, verse 31. And I'll read from the New International, NIV, New International. And I didn't put the other one, but I'm going to have to look for it in a minute because it's so beautiful. But they who wait for the Lord will renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Y'all, have you felt like you need some renewing, some new strength? Are you tired? Are you weary? This prophet says, if we wait for the Lord, then we will get renewed. And we will get to mount up with wings like eagles. This weekend in Colorado, I saw eagles, one or two up at up at Red Rock, as we were hiking there. I was with my friend Michaela, and it was so beautiful. And I'm like, there's an eagle. I also saw peregrine falcon. Pretty sure it was a peregrine falcon nesting in some of the red rocks. But wow, when you see an eagle soaring, I think their wingspan is 7 to 12 feet. Also, something about eagles, they are the bird that lives the longest. They have the longest life. And God is encouraging us that we would be able to mount up with the wings like eagles. So we'd be able to come up and have His view of things. When we would have His view, y'all, we really don't have to worry. And it says we shall walk and not faint. We can run and not be weary. Well, even taking these steps up this hiking trail, and the elevation is way higher than Austin, I was out of breath and I was like, I need to get in better shape. And my friend's like, I need to get in better shape too. And she lives in Denver. Like, we had to stop so we could breathe because I felt like my heart was going to come out of my chest. But God is giving us this hope that if we wait for the Lord, He will renew our strength and we will mount up with wings like eagles and we'll be able to run and not be weary. I was weary, y'all. I couldn't breathe and I could walk. It says we'll walk and not faint. The Passion Translation has some beautiful picture words here. It says those who entwine their hearts with Yahweh will experience divine strength. So this word wait here is an entwining. It means in the original that they would just take rope and like wrap ourselves to God. We would be entwined with God, that we would be wrapped up. And that is a really sweet place to be, right next to God, right? And we would experience His divine strength. See, we're not really meant to do this alone, y'all. And sometimes we think we can. And sometimes I think I can. I'm talking to myself here. But when I entwine myself to God, He will be my source of strength. And it says they will rise up on soaring wings and fly like eagles and run their races without growing weary and walk through life without giving up. So I just encourage you today to find this holy parentheses. And it happened for me this weekend while in Colorado. We took our little art supplies, our little watercolor journals and watercolor sets and a little spray bottle, and went up on the mountainside and painted and stopped and rested. And we received so much strength up there, y'all. So much holy intersection, so much holy parentheses that we were sitting with God in the midst of the breeze, in the midst of the red rocks and the green grass and the eagles soaring above us and breathing the fresh air. And it was so amazing. I was so inspired. And the next day we went to the mountains again, but down south in Colorado Springs, and spent time with dear friends up in the mountains. They took us to a secret place, a passage where we could see Pikes Peak, and the wind was really, really blowing, and we went down on the leeward side to be protected, and we were praying, and all of a sudden there was no wind. It just became so still, and God's presence came on us, and it was like fire coming and strengthening us. And then the wind started blowing more than ever across the way. So just as I finish here, y'all, I just wanted to share these scriptures because I believe this is a gift that God wants to give us, but we have to stop. So my learnings for the week, number one, find him, stop, look, and listen. We stopped on the side of the mountain, looking at Pikes Peak. We stopped. We stopped at Red Rocks. We stopped and sat, and we listened, and we looked, and we felt his presence. He's going to be with us anytime we ask, because he's in us, and he's given us himself. Holy Spirit is with us. But sometimes we have to recognize his presence. And that's what I am trying to do, and what I practiced this weekend was to find him in those places. So I'm inviting you into a holy parentheses time, y'all. It could end up being 5 minutes. That's maybe all the time you think you have, or it could be half a day, or it could be for a retreat. It could be a few days. But we have to do this. We have to come in and get renewed so that we don't get weary. He said, wait on me and I will give you the strength. Number 2 point is when you get weary, slow down and look for him. And I'm practicing that today. Maybe because of my rash, I'm like itching. And I'm like, God, I don't feel calm on the inside with this dermatitis. I'm sorry I changed soaps. Like, help me. I'm now changed my bathing soap as well to the one that they told me to use a few years ago, because now it's just exacerbated, I think is the word. Like everything I think I do, and I'm drinking more water, trying to, detox. But it says, when you get weary, slow down and look for him. Y'all, he's going to be right there. Point 3, enjoy his presence. Look for the eagle soaring. Look for his view. So another experience was we were driving down the mountain towards Pikes Peak and then coming back down towards Colorado Springs. And it was I think it was 20 miles of dirt road, like corkscrew, I think is the name of it. I don't know. U-turns, like slowly going down the mountain. And I said, God, I want to see an eagle. And there it was, soaring. And we stopped and pulled off the side of the road with a view of Pikes Peak. And there was a burned zone. The whole forest had burned. And then there were still some green trees, too, up on the ridges. And I enjoyed his presence. And we stopped there and we prayed. My friend and I did, looking out at this magnificent snow-covered mountain called Pikes Peak. And we were in the forest with the trees, the pine trees, and then seeing the burn that had happened some time ago. And really just breathed him in. And the wind was blowing, and we stopped. And I painted, and she journaled, and we were just listening, and we were hearing God, and we were experiencing him. So y'all, he's with us, but we need to stop to enjoy and to recognize. And especially when we're in his creation, is what I find that because when we get into nature, This is what he created, and his secrets of restoration and peace are there in the midst of his creation. And my fourth point for the day is, and for my learnings, is Sarah, don't worry. Give God thanks. Giving him thanks is the key to not being anxious. So I'm thankful for today. I'm thankful that God sent a friend to help me clean up the yard in the backyard today, weeding and just taking care of things in such a kind and gentle way. So I just bless you today in the Holy Parenthesis. I don't know if it's a park bench you can go sit on. I don't know if you're not able to get outside and you just open your window and you look and listen. I can hear the sparrows chirping. You can see these are the bells that I bought after Wayman passed. They're still at this retreat house, blowing in the wind and making a sound, Corinthian bells. I don't know what you need, but God does know. And it says, those who entwine their hearts with Yahweh will experience divine strength. They will rise up on soaring wings and fly like eagles, run their races without growing weary, and walk through life without giving up. So I pray for you to find that holy parenthesis, even if it's 5 minutes, to sit still and listen to him. May you receive his renewed strength today. May whatever healing needs to happen in your body, I'm asking it for myself with thanksgiving, that I can find healing in my body to stop these nerve endings itching, and that his peace will be with us. So I bless you, friends.